Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mfaruma Zoze. You already know, please like, comment and subscribe. Subscribing is for free and doesn't cost anything at all. Today I'll be discussing activity-based costing and how I find this quite an interesting topic of management accounting. It will definitely come in your test or exam. If it doesn't, that's weird, but it can be quite overwhelming. However, I found that if you understand why it's done, it becomes a bit more easier to apply yourself. So big companies that manufacture a wide variety of products, or sometimes the same product, but then it will be like they will have differences. So like let's say this is a paper manufacturing company. They manufacturing white paper, green paper and blue paper, but because the process of manufacturing these products is not the same, allocating overheads, fixed manufacturing overheads, has to be done correctly and accurately in order to price these products correctly. So often your traditional costing methods like absorption costing and variable costing tend to not allocate these manufacturing fixed overheads as accurately as activity-based costing. So let's get straight into it. This question was about a company that roasts coffee beans, and they sell these beans in 1 kilogram bags. So it was a bit different, and I think at CTA level 2 they really make these questions a bit complicated, and they'll always make it very, very tricky for us. So what I found a bit tricky about this question was that they are manufacturing a Ethiopian roast as well as a Zimbabwean roast. However, it was not the only products that they were manufacturing. So they sort of gave you like a general idea of their cost drivers, which is what they do during their process of manufacturing, which is material handling, quality control, roasting, blending, packaging process, etc. So this was sort of like on a large scale. Then the question had asked, calculate the how you're going to allocate manufacturing fixed overheads for the Ethiopian roast and the Zimbabwean roast. So our focus was actually at the bottom of this page. By the way, this is question 10 from the costing question bank. So what they gave you, like as you can see, I've made a lot of notes on here. They told us the information for the Ethiopian roast and the Zimbabwean roast. So what I do as I read the question, I make notes. And it's important to remember that you want to calculate, you want to split these manufacturing overheads based on the production that occurred. So they told you that they budgeted to produce 80,000 kgs of Ethiopian roast, and because they told you that they package these in 1 kg bags, you automatically then know that this is 80,000 bags that they've budgeted to produce, and for the Zimbabwean roast that is 30,000 bags. Now they tell you that the batch size is 5,000 kgs for the Ethiopian roast and 3,000 kg for the Zimbabwean roast. I'm just going to focus on the Ethiopian roast because it tends to then just be the same thing, same calculation, same application. So that tells you that 8,000 kgs, right? 80,000 kgs, sorry, divide by 5,000 kgs give you 16 batches. And they tell you that per batch 2 setups occur. So setups are 2 per batch, which gives us 32 setups. The roasting time was 1.5 hours per 100 kgs. So we know they're producing 80,000. 80,000 divided by 100 kgs gave you, the calculation is 80,000 kgs divided by 100 kgs times by 1.5 hours gave you 2,000 hours. And you did the same thing for the blending time, the packaging time, and then that was it. So this was important to analyze what was going on here. Anyway, let's go into how to calculate this mess. So in my calculation, I decided to start with the purchasing. In the information, they had told us that in the information they tell us that 20,000 kgs is the weight of one order. So because they're planning on producing 80,000 kgs, this tells me that they're going to actually place 4 orders, and for the Zimbabwean roast it worked out to being 6 orders. So that's a total of 10 orders. So there was a lot of splitting of costs that happened, because they told you that in total the company makes 5,000 orders. This is why the first calculation was splitting the 5,600,000 divided by 5,000 orders, and that gave you 11,200,000 rand. So once this step is done, it becomes quite easy to then split it between Ethiopian and Zimbabwean, because you know in the Ethiopian they are going to make 4 orders, but for Zimbabwe they're going to make 6 orders. So all you had to then do was split the amount of 11,200 times 4 divided by 10, because that's the total amount of batches, and here 11,200 times 6 divided by 10, and here it works out to being 4,480, and here it works out to being 6,720. And that was it. It actually wasn't so difficult, but it took a bit of time to understand. Let me do one more. I'm not going to do all of them because it's pretty repetitive. Like, it basically repeats itself. It's the same concept which you're just going to apply many times. So the setups were 32 setups for Ethiopian roast, 10 setups for the Zimbabwean roast, and then they told you that the company in total is going to make 2,500 setups, costing them a total of 1,930,000. Remember, these are fixed manufacturing overheads, so in your calculation it's 1,930,000 times the total setups, remember, was 32 setups plus 10 setups, which is a total of 42 setups, divided by the company's total setup of 2,500, and that, I keep adding too many zeros, sorry about that, giving us a total of 32,424. I know in some memos what they do is they work out a rate, so like a 2,500, like they would have just said 1,930,000 divided by 2,500 and used a rate. But I found this method to make a lot more sense, because I must first split the cost drivers and then split between how much Ethiopia and how much Zimbabwe is gonna take. So 32,424 times 32 divided by 42, and here it's 32,424 times 10 divided by 42, giving us 24,704, and here 7720. It was just a tricky question, but definitely doable. I'll just do one more, which was the roasting time. The roasting time was actually 1,200 hours. I'm just gonna zoom in there. I said 1,200 hours, and that was the 80,000 kgs divided by 100 kgs, because they told you that it's taking 1.5 hours to roast 100 kgs of beans, meaning that for 80,000 kgs, that's going to be 80,000 kgs divided by 100 kgs multiplied by the 1.5 hours, we get 1,200 hours. We do the same for the Zimbabwean roast and we get 450 hours. So the two together give you 1,650 hours, which we have to then split between this 237,500 hours that cost 10,450,000, so that we get the correct total manufacturing fixed overheads for the Ethiopian roast and the Zimbabwean roast. It's a mouthful and it's definitely overwhelming. And even when I was attempting this question by myself, I remember I was feeling quite confused, because what makes manna my camera had stopped recording, so we had said we've got a total of 1,650, so we need to split between the 1,200, and this gives us an amount of 52,800. Then we do the same for the Zimbabwean roast, which had 450, and it gives us an amount of 19,800. I'm going to finish this off camera because the rest of the cost drivers pretty much the same setup, guys. There's quality. So far we did the purchasing, we did the material handling, which was the setups, and I did the roasting. So I'm going to do the quality control, the blending, and the packaging process offline. After repeating the process for the blending time, the quality control, and the packaging time, I added up all the amounts that I got in this cost driver row that gave me 152,704. I added up my totals in the Ethiopian roast. I got 106. I added up my totals in the Ethiopian and the Zimbabwean. I got an amount of 106,944,45760. And just if you have enough time to test your calculations, to test if your calculations are correct, you can just add these two and you should get 152,704. So yeah, all we did was calculate this large fixed manufacturing overhead, and we split it correctly between Ethiopian and Zimbabwean roast. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck for upcoming tests. If you're a CTA student, shout out to you. Honestly, I've been seeing flames in the past tests. I think this line of work is quite doable. However, they always like to make it so complicated, and that overwhelms us, and there's also not enough time to figure out all these tricks. But we just have to breathe, see what comes, and I wish you guys all the best. Bye. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.